So you're against the water charge. You want to boycott the water charge. But you're a little bit concerned about this talk about deductions from wages, social welfare and pensions. Maybe you feel they're going to get it off you in the end. It's inevitable. Let's have a look at that, okay? So, first point is, the water charge is the water charge. It is not the water tax. And because it's not a tax, revenue are not involved. So revenue can't deduct it from your wage, your social welfare or your pension as they were able to do with the property tax. Second of all, Irish Water cannot be given the power to do an automatic deduction of this type. What the government, to their shame, are talking about, although at this stage they're only talking about it, to their shame they are saying that they will bring in legislation which will give the power to a district court judge to have an attachment order which would effectively deduct the water charge from your wage, your social welfare or your pension. But hang on a second and let's have a look at it. They are talking about the judge having this power after you have refused to pay the first, the second, the third and the fourth bill. And then when on the fifth bill you are given a penalty for non-payment, €30 if you're living on your own, €60 if you're not, and you refuse to pay the fifth bill with the penalty attached, then at that stage they're saying you could be taken to court and deduction orders could be put in place. 2 points about that. First of all, if even one household in 3 refuse to pay, and I think it'll be more than that, that would mean they would have to take 500,000 households to court. The courts are already overstretched. That would be impossible. But let's say that they did manage to get you into a court. It's not a criminal case, it's a civil case. And it could only happen at the tail end of next year after the first 5 bills and the refusal to pay a penalty. But of course, something very important is going to happen within the next year, well before that date on the calendar rolls around. And that is, there has to be a general election. There has to be an election by April of 2016. And if by the time the election rolls around, there are huge numbers of people refusing to pay the water charge, let's say we had half the households in the country or more, then water charges will be the number one issue in the election, the sharp end of the protest against austerity. Politicians would be getting it in the neck at every door, the government would be booted out, and whoever forms the next government would be under savage pressure to abolish the charge entirely. So our message is, don't panic, don't pay, join the boycott. Remember, there are no penalties on the first 4 bills, and when the penalties kick in, they're on the small side, and if there are to be court cases, it would be the tail end of next year. Before that, there has to be a general election where if enough people refuse to pay, we can force the next government to abolish the charge. So don't panic, don't pay, and join the boycott.